How's it going, everyone? In this video, I want to take you guys through a small PlayStation Plus extra and premium update that's actually quite convenient and quite nice, so I'll talk about that briefly. Evil West is a game that's going a little bit under the radar. It's coming from Flying Wild Hog. You guys might know them for their work on the Shadow Warrior titles, but it's a game that's coming out later this year, and it just got 10 minutes of uncut gameplay and some new information, so I want to talk a little bit about that. And then Skull and Bones, one of those Ubisoft titles that's been in development for a very long time. It possibly might be seeing a release update relatively soon, given the fact it's been rated and some interesting ratings notes regarding that game. We'll talk that at the end of this video. But first up, as it was noted on the PlayStation Twitter account, stay up to date with PlayStation Store offers. Now, the wishlist is a feature that I recommend people to utilize when it comes to games on the PlayStation Store, just because there's like an absurd amount of games that drop these days, and even smaller games. I recommend you guys, just if you find something that looks kind of interesting, add it to your wishlist, and maybe down the line when it sees a sale during a PlayStation Store sale, you could pick it up then. However, now it's a little bit interesting because you've got PlayStation Plus Extra as well as PlayStation Plus Premium. You also have that to think about. What if a game that's on your wish list gets added to Plus or Plus Premium or Plus Extra? Well, now on the PlayStation 5, if you do wishlist anything and it gets added to Plus Extra or Plus Premium, you'll get a notification and it'll be right there for you to utilize. Now, you also get notified whenever something on your wish list goes on sale. And I believe you can disable the notifications as well if you don't want anything like that, but I recommend to take advantage of that. It just keeps your life a little bit easier, so you can figure out everything that's going on as far as PlayStation Store sales, because not everybody looks up, you know, the updates every month, and these updates are going to be relatively consistent. The sales run all the time as well, so it's just something convenient to utilize, and I always recommend people to just take advantage of it, just because nowadays you're talking about a storefront that's offering hundreds upon hundreds of games, and there's, you know, sometimes north of 10, 15 games being added to the PlayStation Store every week, and, you know, there are definitely some games that these days they are completely forgotten about, and maybe you'd like to go back and play them, and maybe at some point they will be added to the PlayStation Plus Premium or Extra catalog. I recommend, you know, you don't have to do it every week where you go through the store and add stuff to your wishlist, but I recommend, you know, every month or two, probably every 2 months, just go through the PlayStation Store, sort by new releases, and then check out what's come out. You know, spend 10-15 minutes and you can probably discover some stuff that's, you know, pretty interesting to you. And I know for some people that's just, you know, taking your backlog and making it even crazier. Like, some of you guys probably have north of 100, 150 games in your backlog, and that's not even, like, that big of a stretch. Like, yeah, that sounds wild to think about, north of 100, 150 games that you want to play in your backlog, but, you know, some of the comments I see, and just knowing, you know, my backlog that I have, and I play video games pretty regularly, probably more than most people, and I just see it in my comment section all the time that, you know, people going broke. Not broke, but people spending a lot of money and just adding stuff to their backlog. But nonetheless, wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. Alright, moving on from that, publisher Focus Entertainment and developer Flying Wild Hog have released an extended gameplay video for Evil West featuring 10 minutes of uncut gameplay. Now, this game is a dark, western, over-the-top action game. It looks pretty solid, and Flying Wild Hog, definitely a talented studio. This game going a little bit under the radar, but it looks like something that I think a lot of people, it would be right up their alley. Now, it is coming out during a time period where there's like a billion other games coming out, so this might be the kind of game for a lot of people. You add it to your wish list, and at some point I could see it, you know, getting added to a PlayStation Plus Extra or Premium, you know, 6-9 months down the line. You know, that's why you utilize that wishlist feature. And Flying Wild Hog, by the way, they dropped Shadow Warrior 3. That was a Day 1 Plus Premium title, or PS Now back then. It was a Day 1 PS Now title, which was a little bit different than what PS Now typically does, at least back then, but this is a game that looks pretty interesting. The game notes a dark menace consumes the Old West in solo or co-op fight with style and visceral explosive combat against bloodthirsty monstrosities. Eradicate the vampire hordes with your lightning-fueled gauntlet and become a Wild West superhero. Battle alone or with a friend, again in stylish, gory action combat. Myths and legends retold with a stylized, weird Wild West universe. Evolve with perks, upgradable weapons, and tools. Explore and fight through a story-driven campaign to save America. Quite a visceral game, as I mentioned, and pretty over the top as far as a gameplay standpoint, but it looks like something, again, right up a lot of your guys' alley. It's coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, and PC on September 20th. So be on the lookout for that. I believe it's also at a budget price point of $49.99, so if that matters to you, probably it does, given there's a lot of games to buy these days. That's something to note as well. Lastly, I do want to talk about Ubisoft's Skull and Bones. Now, this game recently had a beta, I believe, run, a closed beta, and now the game has been rated for multiple platforms in Brazil. Now, the interesting thing is this rating, it was listed for PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and Google Stadia. No listing on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, and this has been a thing we've been seeing regularly. Test Drive Unlimited, Solar Crown, Gotham Knights, just off the top of my head. They are foregoing releasing PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions. Guys, we knew that this was ultimately going to be happening with some of these games. It took a little bit longer just because of everything going on, but eventually it just has to happen. Like, you have to forego previous generation consoles just because they are going to handcuff you a little bit, and more people are moving on to the PlayStation 5 or Series. You know, they're getting their hands on the newer consoles, and it just doesn't make sense from a financial standpoint even to put it on PS4 or Xbox One, just because the people on PS5 and Series are probably the people that are going to buy the game, and the game is probably going to turn out better. But, you know, it is just a ratings listing, but take it for what you will. Ratings listings are usually on point. Skull and Bones is one of those games I don't even know what to think about at this point. It was announced so long ago, you know, back in Ubisoft's E3, I want to say 2017, so this has been a long time coming, and looks like it's finally making progression. I don't know if it's going to be a fall title, maybe early 23, but I was getting Beyond Good and Evil 2 vibes from it for a second. I'm like, what is going on with this game? Beyond Good and Evil 2, I think that game is just far gone and we're never going to see it. So, you know, Skull and Bones didn't hit that territory quite yet, but looks like it is moving on to next generation platforms. So let me know what you guys think of that. Like, have most of you guys moved on to a PS5 and Xbox Series? I remember when I talked about Gotham Knights, I was kind of surprised by the overwhelming amount of comments. Not overwhelming necessarily, but there was a significant amount of comments that I saw of people being like, wow, this is absolutely whack. I'm still on my PlayStation 4. I want to buy these games on the PlayStation 4. And I get that. PS5s are still relatively difficult to get. Like, man, if you're very like looking on your phone all the time for the bots and whatnot, updating it, yeah, you can get one, but people got lives, people got kids, people got 9 to 5s, like you can't be on your phone all the time looking for when a PS5 goes in stock so you can get it at MSRP, nor are people down to be spending whatever the price is on eBay at this point. I haven't checked in a little bit, so I definitely understand from that standpoint. I guess sometimes I am living in a bubble, just having a PS5 since launch. I'm like, yo, I'm down for these PS5 only titles or next gen only titles, but I can understand, you know, some people live in the real world and they have lives and they can be on their phones all the time trying to get a PS5. I do definitely understand that, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And that's gonna do it for me. Again, definitely take advantage of the PlayStation Store wish list. I think that's a feature that's gonna become very beneficial to a lot of you guys, especially, look, the PlayStation Store is just going to continue expanding. We saw the same thing happen with Steam, where you have this influx of indie games, and that's just going to continue to expand and expand. And yeah, there's going to be some titles that probably aren't for you, but there's probably going to be a lot of titles that are for you and probably will be interesting. So again, I would say every 2 months, take advantage, look through the store, utilize the wish list. Evil West extended gameplay trailer, definitely go check that out. I think that's a game that would surprise a lot of you guys. Not getting a ton of buzz right now, but hopefully that does pick up closer to launch. And Skull and Bones, rated for PS5, Xbox Series X, PC, and Stadia, but not for PS4 and Xbox One. That's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.